G'day everybody and welcome to Kampala Road, and today we are looking at my new NRM Flying Scotsman and unboxing her. Fingers, toes, eyes and everything else crossed that it works. Now, I've always had a Flying Scotsman on this layout, although she hasn't made an appearance on the video for a while, and this is the railroad version just coming into shot. I thought I'd just show this. I bought this about the same time as the NRM, a couple of years ago. £45, 6-wheel pickup, railroad version. Mine was actually 5-wheel pickup. There's a fault with the pickups on the main driving wheel here. What I did was, to improve the running, I bought a tender chassis here for £5, about £7 by the time I got here. And that has pickups on the 8 wheels, so with wires running to the wires that pick up from the driving wheels here, you have a 14-wheel pickup locomotive. Performance vastly improved. I have a 13-wheel, I should say. Performance vastly improved, and a great little runner. Let's see her go off. Right, this is what we're here to see, the NRM version. I've had it for about the same time as the railroad, but I got so involved in improving the railroad version and very happy with the result that I never opened her. And a friend of mine in Western Australia, you know who you are, Richard, when I mentioned I had this sitting on the shelf, he said, well, what the hell is it doing in the box? So let's have it open. And here it is. Now, this does come with a leaflet. Zoom back a little bit. Oops, that was a bit quick. It's quite interesting. I didn't realise she was in such a poor state when she was bought by the country, the UK that is, and yeah, she was in a bit of a mess, and she has a bit of a checkered history on ownership, so it's very, very fortunate that she was saved and not just a static preserved model in the museum. I won't go into details of the loco, it's very, very well known. Naturally, Paxo has just started up as I switched on the camera, so excuse him in the background. But let's get it out, and what I'm interested to see is the instruction sheet. First of all, how to take her apart. I have no faith in Hornby locomotives at the moment, I'm afraid. Oh, and there is a loose part in the box already. Ah, that looks like part of the driving mechanism. And if you can see that, that's ominous. So normal type instruction sheet, tender comes off with one screw. Seems to have an area for the TTS decoder if I decide to go that way. So it all looks fairly straightforward, he says. What possibly could go wrong? So it does look a fine model. I'm a little bit worried about that piece that came out. This does look a bit like a connecting rod. Let's press on and see. Alright, that's off. There is a detail pack, which is sort of normal these days with the flange wheel, blah blah blah. Couple of drain cock pipes and some vacuum pipes by looks of things. Now, before I'm going to take her out of the cradle, I want to see where that oh, she's a lovely colour. Even the railroad one has great presence on the layout. It's a good model. Ooh, that's gonna break. I will move the camera to show you. Okay, you can see there the packaging, and it has been jammed underneath, I can't remember what it's called, the dart here. This bit of foam has been jammed underneath the dart, so if I pull now, that's going to snap off. So let me just off camera saved the day so far. Okay, the dart is saved, but in a funny position. That's going to take a very delicate touch just to press her back into position. Sorry, my hand was in the way there. I'm not sure why they obviously put this piece of foam in to stop it moving around within the plastic cradle, and it must have got jammed somehow underneath. Focus underneath the dart. Okay, let's keep going and see where that bit of metal connecting rod is from. Right, well, things are not looking crash hot. I've put on the track there. It's a wonderful colour. But there is a problem. One, I found there's a step come adrift. Now that could have come adrift, I guess, in the freight, the mail here. Looks like a step from somewhere. That's a tow hook. I tried to put it on the track and it doesn't sit properly, as you can see. And on closer examination, this tender has been off or has come off. There's this gap here. Now, whether that's come unclipped, whether I've received a repaired locomotive, I guess this is why you should open them immediately. Yeah, and the drive wheel here is off the track. What do you do when you get crap product all the time? And this is not stage managed. This is the first time I've opened this box. People who have suffered my videos will know I try to be as honest as possible. I'm a bit speechless at the moment. I didn't expect this. There you go. Let me have a look at off camera and come back in a second. Okay, in my much used loco cradle, I think what has happened, I haven't taken it off yet, but I think what has happened, this is badly bent, this connector between the loco and the tender. Whoever fixed it in the factory didn't clip the front end of the tender here and then tighten the screw at the back here and forced the back of the tender to be screwed, so that the body of the tender is actually slightly bent here, and it's also bent this when going in the box. So let me continue and find out what's going on. Right, so the body's off. The body looks to be okay. I don't think that's bent too badly. The coal comes out. It's removable coal, so that's a nice feature. I'm trying to be positive here. But the connector is pretty badly bent. I suppose after 2 or 3 years of being in the box, I'm going to have to take that off and try and flatten it out with a mallet or a hammer, or bend it or something. In fact, I feel like taking a mallet to the whole bloody thing. We shall persevere. So that's the connector between the loco and the tender. It does actually look like it's meant to be bent. So I'm thinking maybe it was over tightened, so further investigation warranted before I try and straighten that out. Yes, the tender connection is meant to be bent. What was wrong on my model, it was on the wrong way around. Whoever had attached the tender to loco had put it the wrong way around. So that's why the tender was sitting arse up, if you like, in the air. But it didn't help the fact that the body was not put on properly as well. So no great shakes yet, and normal stuff from Hornby, I guess, and we shall continue. Righty-ho, standard 8-pin decoder socket. There is room here for the TTS decoder speaker, and I guess you put the decoder here. So that's good. Whether I put the TTS decoder in or not, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is put the Gauge Master decoder in, put her back in the cradle, and test her pickup ability at each wheel, as I've done before on my previous couple of videos when unboxing a Hornby locomotive. Okay, I'm going to do my normal trick and check if everything works okay here by applying power to all the wheels. It should pick up, so it should be 6 driving wheels and the 8 tender wheels. Here goes. Now there's a buzzing but no movement. Then I can hear a buzzing. It's not good, is it? It's buzzing as well. Let's see what the tender does. Can that be seen? Yes, it can. I can feel the buzzing. Nothing. Nothing. Buzz. Buzz. Okay, I've inspected it. Excuse me. What I believe is happening is something is wrong with the connecting rods. This is jammed up against the plastic. This appears to be bent, twisted. And it's the same on the other side. I won't turn it over, but it's the same on the other side. This appears to be bent or twisted. Jamming is catching on the plastic body here on both sides. But there's something else I've noticed. Just wobbly cam for a moment. I've noticed that these wheels, I'm going to shine a torch, are not new. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but there's a lot of wear on those wheels. And if you look on this front truck, you can definitely see this is not a new model. It has been used. This comes from Hatton's, this locomotive. 19 months ago. I've looked up the receipt. Sold to me as new when they had it on special in their catalogue. If you look at the tender wheels, it's out of focus there. They're not new. I'm shining a torch on to try and assist with the... The other thing I've noticed is somebody has put the brake rigging on. Now, I'm not sure whether that is done in the factory or somebody has done it. And obviously there's a problem with this last one here. Sorry about the wobbly cam, but you can see there on the wheel it has wear marks on it. And it's especially prevalent on the front truck. There's too much shine with the torch on now. It's very difficult to show on camera, but there's a lot of wear. So maybe, oops, turn it off. Maybe that's why the tender body was on incorrectly. Somebody had taken it off, put a chip in, taken the decoder out, put the body on incorrectly. Maybe that's why this was on the wrong way around. I don't believe it's a new loco. I think it's been used. Okay, so what next? I do genuinely believe it's been used. Maybe, given Hatton's the benefit of doubt, it was a returned item that got into their inventory and sent out by mistake. Or maybe it's that some of us who live overseas suspect we are sent seconds, basically. So what to do? Obviously I've got to take the body off. There's something very, very wrong here. This is why it's not working, it's jammed. In fact, there's absolutely no play in that. That's the wheel that obviously drives from the gearbox. There's no play in there at all. it is solidly jammed. So I'm just undoing this screw here, and it's not even in properly. It's extremely loose there. You probably can't see on camera, but it is. This has been off. So I truly believe it's not a new loco. Somebody's had a go at it before me. So what I've done is there's a speedo cable here, which I don't have the tool to undo to bring the chassis completely off the body or disconnect it. I've put a screwdriver through the front here to hold the chassis away from the body. I'm now going to apply power and see if anything happens, but some of this looks horribly bent, like it's been forced and has bent out of shape. Sorry, I'm doing this as we go along. And this looks very jammed. Let's try a bit of power, see what happens. Maybe it will free itself. No, it's just a buzzing. Yeah, so there's picking up power from the wheels, which is positive, but this is jammed completely, the mechanism. I'm going to have a poke around, see what I can do. I've opened the third floor window here. Out she goes, I think. Right, I hope you can see that. It's in focus. It's this. It's absolutely jammed. I guess that should slide in there, into the cylinder block. These bits of plastic are bent out where it's been hitting, which shouldn't do obviously, and on the other side it is slightly loose. You can see that's probably okay, that's loose, but here there's no play. There's a lot of tension in there, and I think this, which is meant to slide in and out of the cylinder block, or maybe that's meant to slide along. I don't know how these work. I'll have to have a look at another loco. So I'm going to stop here before I damage it any more, and if I can ask any assistance, what do I do? I've never taken, I know there's a risk of taking these things off, and you have to quarter them if you get them out of sequence, etc. I've never done that, but if I force that, I'm going to break something on a brand new, second-hand, used model, whatever it is. Yeah, if anybody's got any suggestions, I would very much appreciate it. This is a bit of a disaster again. Okay, so by gently bending this with a screwdriver, it has released the mechanism, and you can now see there's a lot of play in there. There's play in the wheels. There's a lot of wear on this wheel in particular, a lot of marks. Paxo has woken up. This is next morning, by the way. Connectors, the pickups are not crash hot on the middle wheel there. Try this wheel. There we go. So there's a good sign. I got a bit fed up with this yesterday when I realised it was jammed, so I switched off and consulted a friend of mine online who said, take it easy, take your time. It was good advice. The kids have woken up. Right, let's just try this. Whoa, action stations, look at that. I have looked at the connectors in the tender, they don't touch, which is why I'm having problems. They're not bent enough to touch the wheels on certain, these two in particular, so I'll have to fiddle with those. Right, so I really don't know what to say. So many of my videos have been negative recently. You're all going to switch off. Okay, she's on the track. It looks to me like there's something missing here. That may be my imagination. Probably is. Anyway, that's still loose. I'm going to heart in mouse, give her a go. Now I'm going to leave the tender off because if this works, I'm then going to really jump out of the frying pan into the fire and put a TTS decoder in. So let's see if she moves. I bet she's in reverse. Ooh, there's a click there, that's where it's catching. Just come back a bit. Definite click there where the connecting rods are catching. Now that middle driving wheel is not picking up very well. I did some tests off camera and I'm going to have to bend the pickups, and also 4 of the 8 wheels on the tender are not picking up particularly well either. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to run her in now. So let's see if she works. Off she goes. A little bit juddery, but you'd expect that if it's a new... Now, she's been running for about 20 minutes. Very, very smooth. Must have a nice motor in her. I actually believe, my personal opinion is that she's been running already, because it's so smooth from the offset that it was just perfect. So maybe there's going to be a happy ending to this. So now I'm going to jeopardize that happy ending by trying a TTS decoder in her. What I'm going to do is test this TTS decoder in that class 25. The only reason I do that, it's so easy to do. I just whip the body off like that and swap over decoders. I want to check that the Z21 will actually talk to this before I do anything else. Good news. It does communicate with the Z21, or the Z21 can talk to it. So I have programmed her to the number 472, the last 3 digits of the locomotive number. Comes with the usual bump. There's 17 functional sounds on this, which is probably less than normal for a steam locomotive. And I've just input them into the Z21 because I couldn't duplicate from, say, the Duchess or others, the A4. They're slightly different, so I've done it manually. But just to prove that this is a good news story, how about that? So anyway, on the surrogate locomotive, all is well. You need nerves of steel when dealing with a Hornby locomotive, don't you? This I've not tried, so this is it. This is for everybody to see on camera. Let's start up the noise. Yep. Full whistle. Wow. But the crucial thing is she smooth? Wow. Is my day going to end on a high note? Put the brakes on a bit late there. Okay, well I counted my chickens before they hatched. While she was going round, the TTS decoder went up in smoke for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Now I've had a couple of people tell me, Jerry, don't waste your time with them. And once bitten, well, I've been twice bitten now, so I will not deal with TTS decoders again. So currently she just has a normal 4-function decoder in the tender. Bit disappointing, but at least the locomotive is working. Was going to do a running session. Mixed feelings about this loco, and don't have the enthusiasm to do a running session, so I think I'll call it a day on that. Mixed success, got the loco working, definitely not new. It's been out of the box and used. Lost a TTS decoder for no apparent reason. Whether it's my control system doesn't like them, I don't know. No idea. But for now, if you've suffered this far, thank you very much with my struggles and watching it. And for now, we'll say goodbye to this loco, and she is designated on freight duties. She's in the bag books. So from Kampala in Uganda, cheers for now.